Hi everyone, if you're anything like me, you would have watched Back to the Future Part 2 at precisely 4:30 p.m. on 21st of October 2015, after previously watching Back to the Future Part 1 week earlier, and was shocked at just how much swearing was in a kids' film from 1985.
Shit. Holy shit, bastard! Holy shit, bastard! You son of a bitch! You space bastard! Damn son of a bitch! Bastard!
Also like me, you would have watched a bunch of YouTube clips of people complaining that we still don't have flying cars and hoverboards, wow, neglecting the point that we still do have lawyers, so we don't have a complete totalitarian state. So a week after that, I watched Back to the Future Part 3 to complete the classic time travel trilogy of the 20th century. So stop this video now and watch all the 3 films back to back, and then come back to this video to see what I have discovered to be an interesting plot point that is yet to be addressed in any of the documentaries that have come since. The scene that inspired me to make this video is towards the end of Back to the Future Part 3, where Doc Brown takes a swig of whiskey and falls down to great comic effect, presumably because his weak future body could not handle the super strength bar dissolving liquor of 1885. My contention is that Doc Brown is not intolerant to alcohol. Let's take a look at the sequence of events that have led up to this point. Marty arrives in 1885 on Wednesday the 2nd of September at 8 a.m, the day after Doc Brown had left the letter for him at the Western Union delivery service. He is knocked out by hitting his head at the McFly farm and woken up the next day, Thursday, by his great-great-grandmother in the recurring motif of the trilogy. He walks into town and goes into the bar for a free drink. All pretty standard really. The barman pours a shot glass of bar-dissolving whiskey. He gets into a fight with Mad Dog Tannen and gets half hung at the new courthouse, but is saved in the nick of time by Doc Brown and his telescopic 12-bore. I don't know guns, but I like alliteration. So Doc and Marty meet up and start work on how Marty is going to save Doc from the tombstone photograph that Marty brings with him from 1955, stating that Doc will be killed on the Monday over the matter of $80. Side note, why didn't Marty just bring back $80 with him and save all this trouble? I don't know. Thanks, Stu, for pointing that part out. They discover that the fuel line is hit on the DeLorean and start working on how they can make the time machine run up to 88 miles per hour. They test pulling the time machine with a team of horses, knowing full well that the fastest horse on Earth can only run up to 35 to 40 miles an hour. Weird, I know. Then they discover Clara Clayton and rescue her from her runaway horses. All this testing takes 2 days. The next day, Saturday, Clara comes into Doc Brown's shop and asks him to fix the telescope, while also inviting him to the town dance. Doc agrees, and they are both serenaded by ZZ Top. Doc almost gets shot by Mad Dog Tannen, and they both stay up all night talking about science fiction and Jules Verne. Doc is seen walking into town the next day, Sunday, smelling a flower that he's been given by Clara, insinuating that they have both spent the night together. Doc and Marty spend the whole day and late into the night rigging up the time machine to the railway track. Then, Doc confesses to Marty that he has fallen in love with Clara and wants to stay. Marty explains that they both don't belong in this time. Doc is a scientist and he must be scientific. He must break up with Clara and return with him to 1985 and destroy the infernal machine. Doc returns to Clara and tries to tell her the truth, but Clara doesn't believe him and gets very upset. Doc goes into the bar and spends the entire night holding a single shot glass of whiskey, regaling the clientele with his stories of the future. Marty wakes up on the Monday morning after spending the night with his head on his gun and finds Doc still in the bar. Now, Doc Brown has been awake for 2 days straight. Now let's take into account Doc Brown's age. The actor, Christopher Lloyd, was born in 1938, meaning that he was 47 at the time of filming Back to the Future Part 1. Add 30 years to make Doc Brown's character 77 in 1985. He goes into the future for a hover conversion and Mr. Fusion for the DeLorean. He has an overhaul for himself, replacing his blood, a new spleen and colon, adding another 30 to 40 years to his life expectancy. So after the rejuvenation process of the future of 2015, he's pushing 80 by the time he is accidentally sent back to 1885. He's certainly eccentric and possibly forgetful. He takes 1 swig of whiskey and passes out, far too quickly for the alcohol to have gone into his stomach and enter his bloodstream. Doc Brown is exhausted from staying up for 2 days straight, and not because of his intolerance to alcohol. This is why they didn't think things through thoroughly enough to realise that they had 2 time machines with them in 1885. One with a full tank of gas. The time machine with a faulty time circuit that was struck by lightning in 1955 at the end of Back to the Future Part 2. That time machine had a Mr. Fusion to power the flux capacitor and the flying circuits, and not to power the internal combustion engine that required it to get up to 88 miles per hour. All they needed to do was go to the abandoned mine and siphon off enough fuel and transfer that to the repaired time machine from 1955 with the repaired valves on the hood. That time machine had only been in 1885 for 9 months, not enough time for any significant amount of fuel to have evaporated. Also instructions for the 1955 Doc to repair a fuel injector for a DeLorean. Or go back to 1885 5 minutes later and avoid the Native Americans altogether. But now we're getting into serious paradox territory. But if we're talking about paradoxes, the original Marty from Back to the Future Part 1 would have been erased from time anyway, as he did too good a job with his parents, making them more successful and confident than they were in his reality.
The old man really came through. It worked. He laid out Biff in one punch. I didn't know he had an enemy. He's never stood up to Biff in his life. Ever? No, why? What's the matter? All right.
Think about it. Wouldn't there have been another Marty in his bed when he got home? I hope this explanation has helped you look at the film in a different way. Tune in next time when we'll be discussing Man of Steel, as the Kryptonians could have just gone to Venus. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. And probably not leave a message, as we don't want to get into a 4th dimensional conversation, as I will only win, because if you think you can win, just appear in this room in 2 seconds from now. No? I win.